Hello and welcome to a new week of meals. I am starting off with a Copycat Chick-Fil-A chicken sandwich. I am using the Aldi quote-unquote red bag chicken. This is the chicken breast fillets found in the frozen section. First time finding these, so I'm so excited to try the sandwiches. Popping them into the oven here just per instructions. I've got all the sides. We've got Aldi brioche buns, mayo, some pickled spears, and chicken dipping sauce from Walmart. This is the finished dinner. I've got some coleslaw that I made, a side of baked beans. This is a sandwich. I used the spears because I didn't have any pickle chips, but yeah, it was really good. Not perfect, not an exact copy of the Chick-fil-A sandwich, but it was really delicious. I ended up buying another bag of chicken, but that was the first meal for the week. Next up, I am making American goulash. I guess it's also called American chop suey or something like that. I'm not sure. Basically, as I was making this, because this is the first time I'm making this as well, recipe will be linked down below. I was kind of thinking this is basically just like making a meat sauce, like an Italian meat sauce, but in any case, I am adding all of the ingredients that the recipe calls for. Again, link will be down below so you can follow the ingredients and the measurements. Basically, this is Italian seasonings, garlic, onion, we've got oregano, etc. So I'm just adding all of those in. I'm going to stir it up, and then I'm obviously going to mix everything to taste, and I'll add, whatever I think it needs, if it needs anything more. And so that is just the ground beef cooking up on the stovetop right here. This is a great dish because it's kind of a one-pot thing, so I'm adding the green bell peppers and some onions that I actually had pre-diced, and then I'm going to mix that up. Now this recipe, I do deviate a bit the way I do it because my macaroni is already pre-cooked. It's also leftovers, so I like to use my leftovers. I'm adding some tomato sauce here, and the reason I mentioned that was because my initial meat sauce that I'm creating here is not going to be as liquidy or saucy as the original because I'm not going to be cooking pasta. I'm not going to be cooking dry pasta in my pot. But I do have a block of frozen tomato sauce that I'm adding. Again, that was leftover, that was in the freezer. So I'm using up what I have. I'm just trying to defrost this and get that incorporated into the sauce. So I'm going to continue doing that until it's ready to go. You can see the tomato sauce has pretty much defrosted, so it's more or less incorporated. I am adding a Worcestershire sauce, which, is not really an Italian thing, so maybe this is where this recipe differs from being like an Italian meat sauce. But anyway, there is the Worcestershire sauce here. I am going to do some tasting and then adjusting of seasonings. So follow the recipe exactly, or, go ahead and give it a taste and then adjust as you see fit. After a final taste, and I'm happy with the way it is, I am going to actually separate a small portion out for me since I'm not going to have any pasta. So that's my little bowl there, and now this is the leftover pasta, macaroni that pre-cooked that I had added. So that's pretty much the dish. Here's mine. I served on, again, leftover roasted veggies from, I think, the previous Meals of the Week video, and there is the guy's American goulash. Real easy, one pot, and really yummy. Next up, we're just doing burgers. I am cooking some frozen burger patties. I just got these from Aldi, seasoning with salt and pepper, and then I'm just going to assemble the burger, the way everybody likes. So I'm going to make Rob's right now, and mine is essentially the same. I've got cheese on his, that's a deluxe American, again from Aldi. In the background there, I've got some mayo on a keto bun, and there's actually some shredded Mexican cheese on the bottom bun here. So this is kind of double cheese. You can do whatever you like. But again, this is just easy, a burger night. I did mention the keto buns. These are from Aldi, and these are actually really good. I like them. I like them a lot. So Rob and I had that. Colin had some brioche bun here, again from Aldi, and this is our finished dinner. This is Rob's. He's got some bacon on there, cheese. We've got barbecue sauce, sliced avocado. I did a side of coleslaw mix with some broccoli slaw, and there's just blue cheese dressing on that, and then some box mac and cheese. I don't know what it is, but I just love a burger with some barbecue sauce. I did use sugar-free. I think it's the Hughes barbecue sauce. So good. This dinner was really, really delicious. Last up, I've got a pork belly adobo. Recipe will be linked down below. I am following it pretty closely. I've got some pork belly here that I purchased at the Asian market. It's already kind of cut up, so I don't need to worry about that. But I did also want to add some pork sirloin roast here, just one of these guys, because as you saw, the pork belly, well, it's obviously very, very fatty. I wanted to add a little bit more meat, so I'm using those two meats. In the meantime, I'm just prepping the garlic. I am going to mince this really, really fine. The more garlic, the better, if you ask me. So anyway, that's just the way we like to do it around here. Here we go with some chopping therapy. I just love to chop things, you know, so hope you enjoy this. Once the garlic is nice and minced, I'm just going to push it off to the side and focus on the pork sirloin roast. I am going to make large chunks, cut these up into about 1 to 2 inch chunks. So that is what I am doing right here. Again, I wanted to add this because the pork belly is so fatty. I just wanted to have, you know, a substantial portion of meat. So here we go. Going to transfer the cut up meat to a tray here so that I can prep things. We're going to marinate this as well as the pork belly in a very, very simple marinade. So that is what I'm going to do in just a second. Going to grab the garlic as well, since that is part of the marinade, and we're going to move over to the marinating vessel now. I am using this sort of container. You can absolutely use a Ziploc bag, would work really, really well. Just add the meat to this, and then it's a combination of the minced garlic and soy sauce. Best to marinate overnight. If you don't have that, I think the recipe says to go ahead and do it for at least an hour. I basically let mine sit in the fridge for most of the day. I'm doing morning prep now, and then when I am ready to cook, I am going to take this out in the late afternoon before I cook dinner. So just moving this around with my hands. Again, if you don't like to get dirty like this, go ahead and use a Ziploc bag and just kind of mush it around, you know, until the soy sauce coats everything and the garlic gets mixed throughout. The more garlic you use, I'm telling you, it's really good. It smells good. I wish you could smell this. It smells delicious. So that is the pork done. I'm going to pop it into the fridge after I cover it, and again, pull it out when I'm ready to cook dinner. Ready to cook this up now. I put a little bit of oil down at the bottom of my pot. I don't think that's necessarily because the pork belly is so fatty, but I went ahead and did that, and it doesn't hurt to add a little bit of oil to this. So here is the pork belly that's been marinating all day. I'm just putting down to the bottom of the pot here. I'm going to kind of sear these off just for, you know, a few minutes, maybe 3 to 5 minutes or so per side, and then I'm going to add the rest of the pork, that pork shoulder. Okay, here's the rest of the pork now that I'm just adding to the seared off pork belly. I'm doing these a little bit later since they're smaller pieces. They're slightly smaller than the pork belly. So I'm just going to add that, and then I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients so this can continue to cook. I'm going to add some water to this. So don't forget all those juices and all of that from the container. That's really good because we've got all of that garlic and the soy sauce. So I'm going to add some water to this and the rest of ingredients. So we'll just see what this looks like in just a second. I'm just moving this around here so we can get some of the pork shoulder down at the bottom closer to the heat, since the pork belly has already had a chance to hang out at the bottom of the pot. But yeah, I'm just going to move that around and then I'll add the rest of the ingredients. Here is the water that I'm adding now. I'm just kind of eyeballing this. I don't have the perfect proportions per the recipe, but I'm just kind of eyeballing. I'm going to take it up close to the top of the meat, and then I'm going to add a lot of black pepper. Now the recipe calls for whole peppercorns, which is more or less traditional. That's how my mom did it, my aunt did it. I don't have whole peppercorns, so I just used a lot of crushed black pepper. I've got some bay leaves here, absolutely essential to the flavoring of this dish. So again, just moving everything around so we get the pepper mixed throughout, and we got the bay leaves in the water, and then this is going to simmer for about a half hour or so until it's nice and tender. I just added a little bit of water to the container that I used to marinate so I can make sure I got all of the juices and the garlic. I am adding some soy sauce, and that is pretty much ready to go. I'm going to pop a lid on, slightly cracked, and then after a bit of time, after that 30 to 40 minutes is done, I'm going to move everything around. I'm going to add a little bit of vinegar. I am using seasoned rice vinegar because that's what I have. You can also add, I think they said you can add a little bit of sugar if you like this sweet. So I figured the seasoned rice vinegar will work just fine since it is seasoned, so a little bit more sweet than regular rice vinegar. Give it a taste test, of course, and adjust as necessary, and then this is ready for consumption. This is the finished pork belly adobo. It was really good. It made a lot of food. We still have a little bit left over, but yeah, that's it here. You can serve it over rice. You can make some veg with this. We didn't because my guys don't really eat vegetables. It's terrible. I know it's terrible, but hope you guys enjoyed the video and the recipes. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and feel free to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care until then.